gonna go through a couple replays maybe, but definitely just this first one because I had a really quick win earlier against this guy Apushan, who I don't know if he's. I mean, like his elo was up there, probably 1100s, 1200s. But he was my lane competitor. We were competing for the same lane, and so I'll just kind of go through my build and talk about what I did and kind of what I'm expecting and kind of what I'm looking for. So right off the bat, I'm kicking off a Pio, and whatever this Pio is going to do is depending on like what Rooster's capping is. I think if I had seen that he was skipping this, I wouldn't have sent it right up. But this Pio is queued to get the gas. He's going to sneak around, get the gas, end up over here. I'm not worrying about him. This guy, I'm going to have front line. I want him to take green cover and try and get here as fast as possible ahead of anybody able to set up an MG on me. This guy, MG rush out, is going to immediately... My first, like, it's tiered, right? So either, depending on what I see, he's either going to go here. He might end up here. But if it's, like, really good, he might end up over here. But if it's even better, which is where we're at here, it's just sort of like, alright, I'm going to try and take this house. Because this is an MG safe space for the other team. This is another one. And then this is another one. So it's just sort of like, what do I want to deny them? If I can get this, this keeps them off this gas. But it also exposes my MG, right? So he's moving in. I'm going to grab this cap. I'm not resting him yet. I don't want him to set up because then I have to pick him up in case I want to make this move. So I'm going to charge the house. Now I see their MG here. So that could be a problem. And I see this. This can shred these guys. So I got to get in the house as fast as possible. Right? And then these guys I'm hiding behind the house because I don't know yet what I want to do. Right? So the MG is going to do its thing. They're going to trade blows. I have it targeting this. And I'm realizing he's also shooting from here. So maybe I can get some damage on this or pull it off the MG. Because the MG is getting green. And then I also have my crew moving in. So I'm trying to get Grenadiers on the line. This guy's getting wiped. Time to retreat. I'm not loving the bleed right now, so he's coming out, and I'm immediately merging this back in and jumping back in the house. I don't want him to take this house from me. And I'm also moving the Grens in so that it spreads the damage to the Grens as they're also in the house. And that's the hope there, is that even though it's not actually happening, yeah, there it is a little bit. So what I'm trying to do is prolong this MG. So he's forced to free his. He's Brit. He can't merge. This is coming out. I'm getting mortared. And I'm immediately merging back in. I'm retreating these guys. And then I'm figuring out what am I going to do with my MG while we solve the next problem, which is Flame Engineer, this infantry section. So I'm going to hit this. Since he's in the house, he's going to get fucked up a lot faster than me outside of the house, even though that's a better squad than this 3-man Pio. So he's forced out of there. This is in a defensive position in case they approach. My Grens, luckily, are just like fighting well in green cover. These guys I have my like rally point to green cover. This, I'm thinking, he doesn't have much defending his mortar, and I might be able to take on the mortar and that squad if I get better position. So I'm moving over to this house and getting the cap, and I think pretty shortly I see that he's just sort of there with nothing protecting it, and he's got his infantry over there. So I'm going to push over here, hopefully flame this guy enough. Yeah, so he panic retreats. Now I have more guys moving in. He has reinforcements over there. These guys, since they're suppressed, it's like, okay, get in the house because they'll get flamed. But he retreated already, so I'm back over here. And I'm capping, right? So at this point, I feel good. I pushed him out. I have this, which is like the nice to have. This is an amazing to have in my opinion. This is their gas. This is the contested gas. This is our gas. Can't lose that. So I see them right there, and I'm thinking, well, why? I'm not going to let him form up, because he's clearly retreated a lot. He's retreated his MG, he's retreated his mortar, so I want to engage him now before he can get more help. And so I'm laying a landmine, I'm repositioning, right? I'm going to take this house, which ended up being very good, because now he's moving over here, and he's getting hit over here. And so now I'm going to engage with my guys, try and force him back, and then also just lock this shit down, right? Because at this point, the way I'm playing, I'm going heavy Bren. I don't want to see a Humber able to just drive up here. I'm going to, even though I left that landmine there, I want to see the Humber come up here, because this is going to be easier to defend this approach. This, you can kind of get sneaky. This is generally... like, if I get an AT that's just sort of here, I'm covering that, and then as long as this guy doesn't fall apart, I can hold this. So at this point, I'm bringing my guys back. I'm bringing that retreated engineer squad from before, the pioneer squad. I think he's just he's mortaring this house because he saw me in there. He's trying to flame me out. I'm out of the house already. I've repositioned to a different location because he is going to make an approach. He is mortaring houses, but he doesn't know where I am yet. And so... now this MG is here, and at this point, I saw the airplane, so I said, hey, I'm getting doubled, and then the guy also was warning me, like, hey, you're gonna get doubled. So now I'm getting doubled by these two, and it's not looking good, right? Like, this is a pretty sizable force, so I'm trying to bring down the riflemen, because these guys can kind of stand up better in a fight. These lead faster, so I'm thinking, okay, reposition. But it's pretty obvious at this point, with this push and that push and this push, that I'm going to have to get the hell out of here, because Teal is nowhere to support me. Like, Teal's not going to get there in time, there's no point in me staying, I'm retreating everything. I end up losing a decent amount here. So I lose one of those Grand squads, I lose an engineering squad. I don't know if you remember, but I basically had 3 Grens, 2 Pios, 1 MG, and this AT that is sort of been made to, you know, as just sort of like, I need to be able to hold my own against some sort of vehicle when and if it comes. But that's just not the route they went. So this is just going to kind of chill here in case they get kind of crazy and push in. Brewster is engaging. I don't love some of the stuff he does, so look, so that he gets dropped on, and he, you know, he very quickly falls apart himself, and is forced to retreat out, so he's just gonna get out of there. Yeah, this mortar, he doesn't want to lose that stuff. This guy's good. I love this. This is very cool, very supportive. It's not the building I went, because I had such a good gas hold. I was thinking this might be a game where I try and rush tier 4. So the AT is repositioning these guys. So at this point my thought is, well, I need to get this back. I don't need to retake the whole thing. He's kind of roaming around. Hopefully he's noticing that they're probably going to snare him. So he's kind of navigating around. He's clearing out the things that can't fight him. He's going to take some damage from this MG. I see this, and so my thought process is, okay, let me move in. I can use this guy for the vision, this guy to set up the MG, and kind of basically lick my wounds and reassess what I need to do. Again, very weak position, but I'm floating a lot of resources, because again, at this point, I'm not going to spend on something, like, I don't know what they're planning. Like, I see these commandos. I still don't know if it makes the most sense to be going west, if it makes the most sense to get Nebels, if it makes the most sense to punch out stronger infantry. I did decide when I was like hitting 800 manpower, I'm like, you know what, this ain't gonna hurt. A Panzergren squad, let's get it made, figure it out. This MG I set up behind green cover in a way that because I knew he saw me and was gonna loop around and come out here and then get suppressed. Yeah, see, this guy sucks. So I'm trying to basically tell Teal, like, look, if you give me a little bit of help, we're going to retake my lane, and we're going to get all that gas back. I just, you know, like, we can get this done. I even double it. I'm very confident that what I've seen so far is not enough to, you know, not do this. This is a little bit of a stupid, risky move, but again, I have all this manpower, like, why not? And so I set up my MG. I'm pretty sure that the MG is still sitting here. But but we're both out of viz from each other, and so I'm chilling over here. This guy's chilling. This guy's forming up. So I'm basically just kind of getting ready for the next position, and figure it out. I think I settled on. No, I didn't even settle on battle group yet. This guy, I hit the white phosphorus rounds because they do very well, especially against things in the buildings. So he's gonna have to get out of this building. And he can't even shoot back, or maybe the range is worse on that MG, I guess. So, again, whittling away at them. This guy's pushing up with me. Let's figure this out. Let's look at how we do this. So this guy, he sees, oh fuck, like I'm out. Like this is a bit much. I want to set this guy up. I think I set him up on green cover, like here. And again, I want this gas. Victory point, whatever, but I really want this gas. And so how do we get this? I'm assuming he's leaving one of these engineers to cap, but he's not, so let's figure it out. I saw him retreat that MG. I don't know how much shield has, so I boldly push in with this. Satchel, or whatever, bundle grenade. Get that taken care of. This guy's MG does a good job at just, you know, establishing that he's there with an MG. Flame Gren's moved up. This guy's force moved in. I think I was going to actually take that mortar, but it looks like he does. Eventually. His Wesp doing work at the approaching road. Again, they have to go this way with larger items because of this thing. So that AT is chilling there. Any vehicles gonna have to come through here. So I see this blob, and I'm gearing up to fight it. So I'm moving this Gren in. I think I have another P Gren chilling over here. I don't know, like the build queue sent me there. So dealing with this fight. He's pushing up here. This is not, you know, this is looking pretty sizable, right? Like, these guys are moving in. His MG's doing work. They're taking a house. This is stupid. Don't let that get, yeah. AT takes that out. That was a mistake. They jump in the house. I'm going to hit that real quick. Boom. Bundle grenade. Right? Now, keeping it moving. Right? What next? This force, they want this gas back. They're at a lack of gas. I jump in the house. I'm actually curious how I lose this, because this thing dies. So let's see, they probably, yeah, it looks like they're grenading it. They flame everybody out of that. Instant death. But I also get my bundle grenade off and wipe a significant amount. This guy's Wesping, it's fine. Didn't expect that. And so yeah, so now that's like, you know, we took a situation where I'm floating I'm still floating a ton of manpower, and I get up to tier 4, and so now I'm just, you know, there's no reason for me not to think, you know what I mean? Like, what I've seen, it's like these guys, I have the AT if they decide to throw a Steward up here or something a little bit heavier. I have a new MG from what I've taken from them. They burn this out. But yeah, it's like this little wedge, as soon as this is gotten, or there's like a cap of that, this barrier, I think, helped us. This allows him to kind of start moving his forces back mid. Look, they're now resorting to shit like this, which is not going to help them. So at this point, it's like we're in the last remaining bits of this round, and I don't think I still wasn't sure. I saw he had west, so I was like, well, if they do end up
Pioneers
going
are
heavy
reporting
tanks,
for duty.
I might want Panthers eventually.
HQ shall be receiving medics
And I
who
was like,
still
I
are
have
wounded.
enough time where I don't need to commit to breakthrough to getting this out, and I'm kind of past a lot of the, besides fast building and an eventual Tiger and Blitzkrieg, I'm mostly past the benefits I would have gained going breakthrough right away, like assault grants and stuff. So, and then I see purple is fully committed over here, and I'm thinking, let me return the favor. He helped me get my ship back. He's in a fight. Let me send my Brumbar up mid, and lo and behold, Red was thinking the same thing. I'm not gonna push Dolph alone. I'm gonna go mid, help my guy out, and then I think they saw the Brumbar and knew what time it was. Called it quits. Yeah, and that's it. Decent damage dealt, but I felt like my map control and efficiency were a couple of the highlights in this conflict. How to stay engaged, how to maximize my effectiveness in that round, which to me was like getting a hold of those gases, needing help as little as possible, forcing the double team on myself um, via the level of control and dismantling of everything that he was trying to do. And yeah, I thought that was a pretty solid opening. Um, and those are just sort of my thoughts as I, kind of execute those moves. I probably floated too much manpower, but the point I'm trying to emphasize is like, I never float that much, very rarely, but in this particular game, I had so decisively won the first engagement that, I would have proceeded with, I really don't know. Like, I had all that gas and I had gone tier 3 instead of tier 2. And so usually when I go tier 3 over tier 2, I'm it's my option is am I going to side tech into Stugs and Nebbles? Um, but and I don't know if I thought about it at the time that Teal had a Wesp that I wouldn't need the Nebel, but I definitely didn't need a Stug. And so there was no side tech. And then at that point, if I was going to go breakthrough, I would want to shit out a tank as fast as possible if I committed to tier 4, because I wasn't going to go back to tier 2 and then side tech to um, the Werble, even though that would have been nice against the commando drops and what they ended up showing. Um, it 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 just made sense in that instance. I think if I had used the manpower on anything, it would have just been the Panzergrens, which I ended up building anyways. But that's typically some of the more atypical approach, but just sort of like the thought process behind retaking the lane and um, where my resources are going to go and what I need to make. Because if all of a sudden I'm seeing Stewarts or I'm seeing things that would lead me to believe that they're gonna start pumping armor, it's gonna change what I'm going to do to try and counter what they're bringing to the table. Anyways, I hope this was helpful.